Not only did disco not die, I feel it's the other way around. I feel like disco is one of the genres that is just like eternal.
With such a great disco scene and culture coming from our city here, was it ever really demolished?
Certainly in the DJ world, disco just never went away. It's always been part of people's sets. It definitely is more fashionable sometimes than others. And also from a production angle, I feel like the techniques and the sounds and the feel of disco never went away. It's constantly referenced. It stays relevant. It had a heyday, but I think more than most styles, it's proven to be like really eternal.
If you want me to, I would like to do all the things you knew, the ones you made me do. Don't you want me?
It's strange. I don't really like most disco, but I love certain disco tracks. So as an overall style, I feel a lot of the time it gets a bit cheesy or it's a bit cartoony, but obviously when it's good, it's incredible. I guess like it's not a very interesting, but I think of Giorgio Moroder, I think of I Feel Love, I think of, actually when I think of disco, what I think of really is it's like perfect dance music. That's what I think of. I think of it as the perfected form, which is it's got the energy, it's got a little bit of pop, it's got some sex appeal, it's got a vocal, so it's taken the best elements from all different styles, and it's like very evolved dance music, and it's fun too. It's a perfect formula, I think. When it's done right, it's incredible.
Yeah.
There's a group of songs I loved, and Angel Eyes is one of those songs. I don't remember where, it's just always been around, been in the background. The reason I wanted to remix Angel Eyes was I love the song, but also it's one of those ones where it's like, it's not perfect. There were things about it I loved, the overall song structure, the lift, some of the sounds, but there's other things that are a little like, that I'm not wild about. So it's nice to do a remix where you see you're in, you know? It's not a perfect song. But that's a song I always loved, and I like you mentioned Montreal, and I don't know what it is exactly, but there's kind of a Montreal party, 80s, just a feeling that I get from that song, and I always did, so I like it. I don't remember the first time I heard that record, but Lime specifically, in about 2000, this guy IF, who's quite a big deal in the kind of underground electro world and Italo and stuff, he did a mix CD called All Mixed Up in the Hague, which was huge at the time, I think in 2000. It was like the beginning of Electro Clash and all that. And it was a really big deal for a lot of people, for Italo disco and stuff like that. And I got in touch with him, and I remember he found out I was from Montreal. And right away, he's like, oh my God, Lime's from Montreal, you gotta find me this record, you gotta find me, and he was specifically talking about Unidisc. He was like, he's a Dutch guy and a real digger, you know?
Yeah.
And he was like, you live in Montreal, you have to find me, and he was giving me these lists of all these crazy records, and that was the first time I really remember hearing Lime. And I always remember the artwork too. A lot of these people I never knew were from Montreal. It's funny, like when I was younger, I didn't know any of them were from Montreal, really. Was Gino Vanelli from Montreal? So he's the only one I knew, and I knew Men Without Hats were from Montreal.
Yeah.
But as far as like Gino Socio, Lime, Trans X, and a lot of the other ones, it was only much later. I think that's typical for Montreal artists. They're known maybe internationally, and nobody really pays them much attention here.
Yeah.
Trans X, Living on Video, that was like a record. I don't know when that is, at 83 or something like that. So I was like 9 years old, but that was like my track. Like I don't know how I heard it on the radio or saw a video, I don't know, but that's one that was in with like the Depeche Mode, and that was a big one. Living on Video for me that's one of those ones where that's everything I like about dance music. That's the music I try to make. It's just like great beat, great energy, one kind of catchy little do 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 do. Like a little riff, great vocal, and just boom, like all there. Yeah, like pop mixed with dance, and just it's a great one. They're deceptively simple, the songs, because they're still great songs.
Yeah.
That's why they became popular, why they stayed popular. I think with all the big disco tracks is that They seem a bit simple, sometimes it's a little bit naive or goofy, but actually the songs themselves, they have killer hooks. You know, they're big songs, and the production is good too. I really love the remix. I'm really proud of what I did. And I think also the fact that I think it's a great story that all this music came from Montreal and that over such a long period of time it's kind of coming full circle. So I'm proud of my city, and a lot of the people don't know that any of these records came from Montreal. So it is cool that for the whole 40-year celebration, there's some like awareness that Montreal wasn't just a party city, it actually was an artistic city making a lot of the music that was being played all over the world, because I don't think it's well known.